Hello peeps, today we're taking a look at the intake by Mike Vapes and Augvape. Alright, so we got the intake. I haven't been vaping on it very long. It's been about 48 hours, but I gotta tell you, this thing has been working beautiful. I'm gonna show you how I built it. It was perfect the first time. I haven't changed the coil. I've re-wicked it twice because I changed some juice. And I like to re-cotton my RTAs and RDAs pretty much every morning. I just like the new flavor. This thing has been working perfect since right out of the gate, the first time. So I'm going to take a vape on it, then we're going to go down table, look at it up close, and then I'll talk to you more about it. Alright, today we're taking a look at the new intake RTA by Augvape. It says collaborated project with Augvape and Mike Vapes. Comes in the traditional Augvape packaging they've been using lately. Let's go ahead and open it up. You got your little multi-tool in here. You have the intake RTA. Let's pull out the rest in here. And in the bottom here you will have your comes with a bubble glass already on it. You got a straight glass, and you got your package of goodies with another drip tip and a 510 adapter on there. All right, let's take out the other drip tip so we can do the comparison between those two. See what's in there. Well, it's probably just a black one compared to the colored one that's on there. All right, put that aside. Move that over there. So we got the straight glass. We're gonna move that to the side. You got a little higher. Let's see. This is the blue drip tip that comes with the black version, and then you got the little higher end one on there, you know, not higher end, longer one. All right, so let's zoom in and take a look. So the intake RTA by Mike Vapes and Augvape. So you got two airflow slots on the top. All right, pretty smooth with a stopper. Twist. No, let's get the whole thing tight first. Twist the top and it pops open for your fill ports. Two large fill ports. Nice thick silicone ring on top. Turns about almost a half a turn, I'd say, on there to get back on. Feels really snug, so it feels like no problems with that coming off. All right. The base, you got your 510 pin. You got Mike Vape's logo or signature on there. You got Augvape, and I got number 200. All right. Go ahead and take the base off. All right. Interesting. You got two tubes on here. They go into the holes on the top for the air intake. So your air is going to go in here. It's going to travel down those tubes and then come out the air in the center there. All right. Put that aside for the moment. Take a close-up look here. There is your deck. You have your wicking holes. You have Phillips screws here and here. Looks like you could fit a pretty large coil in there. Let's do a little measurement in here. So the inside here, from one side to the other, is going to be 6.7 millimeters. Construction looks nice on there. Looks very solid. You don't see any like welding points or anything like that. Looks good. Wicking will go down there. Your juice will flow into the side. All right. Let's go ahead and build this. Alright, so the coil I'm going to try in here first is going to be one of these Wotofu Nichrome 80 3mm 0.28 coils, and these are the Juggernaut. You can see the coil here I'm going to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is retwist this coil so that the leads are in different directions, and since this is going to come out to a 0.28, it might come out a little higher now that I do another wrap on it. Basically, you want it like this. All right. Now let's see how the spacing will be on there for that. Pretty good. Looks like I could space it out. All right, so I spaced out my coil a little bit there. Okay. Let's go ahead and loosen these screws. I'm going to use my own screwdriver because it's a little bit easier. Now by the wrapping on this coil, placing this in there would work better, as you see from where the posts are. All right, would work better if I did it this way, obviously, but then my leads are gonna be going down into base too high. All right, so it would work better with a coil wrapped in the other direction. So what I'm gonna do is just adjust my leads like this, okay, and that's gonna allow me to place that in there better. All right, so I'm gonna place one in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove one of these wraps from it, because once you space it out now, it is going to be certainly larger. Now what I actually did in here, once I had it in place, I noticed that the leads were still sticking out a little bit, and you can see the threading is right here. So I didn't want this to be out too much and take any chance that I was going to short out and touch it. So I pulled the coil out and snipped the leads a little bit shorter. All right, so that they'll fit in there just right without having any chance of them touching the top cap when I put it on. So let's go ahead and screw this back down. Now this Juggernaut coil is very soft. It's very pliable, so you know, moving it around and screwing it down actually does make it soft and move around. So that's this particular coil. Let's see how that looks. It looks pretty good to the airflow. My leads won't touch anything, won't short out, and I think we're pretty dead center there. All right, hard to do it on camera when there's a camera in your face and you can't see as good as you'd want to. But 1, 2, 3 on the Proton, and we're going to power on, and let's lower that wattage because we're at 100 watts now, and I'm going to dry burn this. I don't want to do that at 100. Let's give it a burn. Looking pretty good. Now this is, again, I was saying, oh, you could stick a 5mm coil in there. Obviously you're not really going to do that. This is a 3, and that's probably as large as you'd want to go. All right, you don't want to take any chance of anything shorting out or touching in there. That was just the measurement before of the space in there. There we go. I'm going to actually slide this over just a little bit, this lead here. Make sure nothing's touching, nothing's shorting out. All right, and this is coming out to 0.28. All right, I'm gonna let that cool down, and then I'm gonna wick it. All right, so get some cotton here. This kind of coil sometimes a little harder because your cotton will snag on it a little bit. So you want to make sure you roll your cotton, you know, pretty good, so that you'll be able to fit it in there. So we've got our cotton here. Gonna roll that end up. Twist it as you put it in. All right. Comb it out. Now with these RTAs, you can see how close we are to the wicking holes. We don't want to cut it too long. We don't want it going down deep in there. So I'm going to cut it like this, and we'll see how that works, and I can always cut it a little shorter. Actually, I think I'm going to comb that out a little bit more. Don't want it to be too thick in there. You really got to allow the juice to flow. Just loose. Okay, just loose in there. Nice and loose. Show you on this side. Just loose on top like that, right? Let's find some juice to put on this. I think we'll put on some of this Vapor-Made cookie jar. A little bit on that side, let it soak in. A little bit over there. Some on top. Throw the top on. When you put it in here, when you turn it, it's gonna hit just the right spot. You know, it's gotta, you're gonna have to get those tubes in there, but it's not, if the tubes are in the wrong spot, you can't put it down, okay? You can't do it wrong. So you turn, and those tubes, did you see that? If it's in the wrong spot, and watch when I turn. See that? It went right into the right spot. Tighten it down. Make it snug. Take that off and let's fill her up. Throw the top back on. Give it a turn. And the intake is ready to go. Let's go back up on top. I'm going to give you the specs first, and then we're going to vape on it. All right, so the intake. Everything about it's nice. It's really made nice quality. I've been happy with Augvape stuff. Pretty much everything they've done for quite some time has been great. This is a collaboration. I think it's the first collaboration between Augvape and Mike Vapes, and it is a single coil, top airflow, RTA. It's just beautiful. I've been very happy with it. I have to say, I think that even though it's not a totally fair comparison, I like this better than the Engine 2. The Engine 2 was my new favorite last few weeks. That is dual coil. This is single coil. That's the main difference with it. And this has that airflow coming straight up from the bottom, which I think makes a big deal, a big difference. And really happy with it. The vape on it, vaping it back to back to back. The way I wicked it, by the way, that you saw in the up close, was just perfect right out of the gate. Not a single problem with it whatsoever. I've re-wicked it a few times like that. Even put the wicks a little bit shorter and just puffed them up near the top so that they actually weren't even going down into the holes. That particular 0.28 Juggernaut coil, I've been vaping that with on the curve setting, where it's 69 watts for the first half a second, 65 after that, and then for half a second, and then 60 after that. And it's been an absolute perfect vape. I'm going to take another one. I liked this coil, this drip tip better than that shorty blue one. If you like the shorty blue one, because this is you know, tapered, it's not perfectly straight, it's going down a little bit like this, you can use this and it's perfectly comfortable in the mouth, but I like the thicker drip tip and a little bit higher, so I've been happier with that. I like the looks of the blue one better, but I like the feel of this one better. It's just been beautiful. Every single vape I've taken on has been fine. It's been wicking great, no dry hits. There are no cons. If I don't say something negative, people are gonna say, "Oh, you're just saying that because it's another reviewer," you know. The only thing, if I was to change anything, just my preference, a little bit more airflow I would have liked. It's a lot of airflow, but it's not totally open, okay? So maybe I would have liked a little bit more airflow. But again, it's no way a deal breaker. I just love it. So I believe there's only one website, according to Mike, that has this in stock at this moment. I will put a link in the show notes below to that website, and you can find it on there. I'm sure very soon it's going to start appearing on all the US sites and everywhere else. I believe it's probably already available, probably in some overseas sites, but in US sites, you know, and I don't know about, you know, in the UK and the EU, and, you know, you'd have to look around there. But absolutely love it. I love the feel of it. I love the look of it. Just overall great. I think it's a great job, and right now this is definitely going to be my favorite RTA. The fact that I can get that good of a vape, all right, what feels like a dual coil vape, if you didn't tell me or show me the wattage and you just said, here, vape on this, I would think this is a dual coil vape. But the fact that I could do it on 65 watts to get the better battery life on a single coil and that kind of vape out of it, I'm extremely happy. I'm gonna do some more vaping on this, and I'll put that link below. Check it out. Great job, Mike. the intake RTA.